Welcome back, and now we are on chapter 2, on trial. All 9 of Miss Hydra's heads looked up as Athena entered the front office. "Hello, dear," said the orange head as all the others went back to scanning paperwork, adding figures, or whatever else they'd been doing. "Principal Zeus is waiting for you, so go right in." "Thanks," said Athena. She started toward Zeus's door, then turned back for a moment. Miss Hydra, the administrative assistant's green and purple head swiveled to look at her. "I was just wondering if—" "Yes," interrupted Miss Hydra's impatient purple head. "If you could tell me what kind of mood he's in." Athena finished. Can't say. He's been holed up in his office all morning." Just then Zeus threw open his door, knocking it from 2 of its hinges. Something that happened quite often, actually, so often, in fact, that not one of Miss Hydra's head batted an eye over it. She just rang a little bell on her desk marked hinges to summon a custodian to repair it. Athena stared up at Zeus's massive head with its wild red hair and curly beard as the principal filled the doorway. "Hi, Dad," she said. "You wanted to see me?" "You bet I do," he bellowed. "So what are you doing standing around out there jawing with Miss Hydra?" He moved a few inches to let her inside. He was almost 7 feet tall with bulging muscles, so he towered over her like a giant as she squeezed past him into the room. Zeus shut the door behind them, and it swung crazily from its one good hinges, creaking. As usual, her dad's office looked like a tornado had swept through it. Files, scrolls, maps, random pieces from Olympus Poly board game, and empty bottles of Zeus juice were scattered everywhere. Half-dead plants perched atop dented file cabinets, and several chairs with scorch marks on their cushions sat tilted at odd angles, making the path through the office one big crazy maze. "Sit," Zeus commanded as he crossed the room to the hunched golden throne behind his desk. As he lowered himself into it, Athena dragged a green chair with scalloped back to the other side of his desk. She had to empty the scrolls and the oracle oak cookie wrappers from it before she could sit. However, then she pointed to several huge sheets of papyrus on top of Zeus' desk. They were covered with sketches. "What are those?" she asked, leaning forward to get a closer look at what seemed to be designs for a new building of some sort. "Plans for a new temple," Zeus said proudly. "The people of Olympia are going to dedicate it to little old me. Naturally, it's being built to my specifications, so I've been gathering all the newest architectural designs," he went on with growing enthusiasm. He pointed to a stack of Temple Digest magazines piled up on the corner of his desk. The cover blurbed read, "Corinthian, Ionic, or Doric? What your choice of columns says about you. Hot new trends, decorate your temple with awesome mortal deeds. Wow your worshippers with wall-to-wall marble. I tell you, this temple is going to blow every other temple in Greece right out of the water." "Impressive," said Athena, "and congratulations." She was surprised at how excited he was. It wasn't like this was the first temple built in his honor. He was the biggest, baddest god of them all, so people on Earth practically fell all over themselves to win his favor. The flat golden bracelets that encircled Zeus' wrists flashed as she shoved the drawings and magazines onto the floor so he could prop his sandaled feet on the desktop. But enough chit-chat. That's not what I called you here to talk about today. Wearily, Athena sat back in her chair. Is it about my studies? I've been getting all A's, so I don't see how Zeus waved away her concern. Not at all. Your teachers have told me you're doing brilliantly. Oh God, Athena felt her shoulders relax. Suddenly, a funny look came into Zeus's eyes. He thumped the side of his head with the palm of his meaty hand. Tiny thunderbolts shot out between his fingers, scorching the walls to the right of his desk and setting his beard on fire. Zeus blew on his chest quickly to put out the flames. Thanks a lot, Metis, he grumbled, speaking to Athena's mom. Metis. My English is not very good looking, so I may mispronounce certain words. And that's not from the book, that's me. Okay? And to Athena's mom, he was a fly inside his head. I wish you could see what you just made me do. Okay, he said after a pause. Don't get your wings in a twist. I know it's no picnic for you, being cooped up inside my head. Yes, I'm sure she understands, but I'll tell her. Tell me what? Athena asked. Having a fly as a mother was just plain weird. But she couldn't even see her mom. Sometimes she wondered what it would be like to have a real mother. One who, besides looking a lot like her, could cook and sew and comfort her with hugs. Or at least talk to her. Zeus glanced at her. Your mother says she's worried. She can't play a more active role in your life. She hopes you know she loves you just the same. Athena gulped. Had Metis read her mind somehow? Yes, I know, she said guiltily. Good, said Zeus. Now kindly buzz off. Startled, Athena rose from her chair. Not you, Zeus said hastily. I was speaking to your mother again. Oh, Athena sat back down. Zeus' big feet thumped to the floor, making everything in the room jump. He clasped his big hands together on top of his desk and leaned forward. You must be wondering why I asked you here. Well, yes, actually, she admitted. Her dad's eyes strayed to the drawings. He knocked aside for a moment, then his gaze returned to her. I've invited a new boy to MOA, he began. You mean Hercules? Interrupted Athena. What could the new boy possibly have to do with her? Zeus nodded. That's the one. He paused. The thing is, he's here on trial. On trial? Athena repeated. What was that supposed to mean? And why was he telling her? I'm giving the boy a week to prove himself, Zeus said, to find out if he truly belongs here. I see, said Athena, but she didn't. Why require this of Hercules when MOA's previous new mortal student, Orion, had been admitted without trial? On the other hand, Orion had caused a lot of trouble at MOA, so maybe that's why Zeus decided to change the rules. Hercules has more brawn than brains, Zeus confidently but bluntly. Zeus confided bluntly, and he's hot-headed. At times, he goes off like an out-of-control chariot that's about to lose a wheel. Really? Athena said. You know that for sure? Maybe her friends weren't the only ones quick to judge the new boy. Zeus nodded grimly. I have a report from his former school. Seems he and the music teacher had a run-in. Sour notes were exchanged. The long and short of it that Hercules wound up smashing Lear over the teacher's head. Good godness, Athena exclaimed. She wondered why he was telling her this. Did he want to warn her away from Hercules? If the boy was a problem at his other school, why had Zeus even invited him here? If she, like everyone else at school, weren't just a little bit scared of her dad, she asked. Here's why I'm telling you this, Zeus said, as if he, too, could read her mind. I want you to keep an eye on Hercules for me. Befriend him. Offer him some guidance. Athena's gray eyes widened. What? Why me? This wasn't at all what she had expected him to say. Zeus grinned at her, practically blinding her with his white teeth. Who better than my favorite daughter in the whole wide universe? Besides, you are the goddess girl of wisdom, right? Ye gods. It was the second time in an hour that someone had reminded her of that. Well, yeah, she said uncertainly. Half of her was worried that she failed to live up to the title, but the other half felt flattered that Zeus had chosen her, that he thought that she could help Hercules. She guessed he must not think they were. She guessed he must not think there was any danger of Lear getting smashed over her head. Come on, Athene, Zeus wheedled, pretty pleased with the nectar on top. Athena smiled. How could she resist when he asked so nicely? And she did want to please him. Okay, she said, I'll do it. Excellent, boomed Zeus. Jumping up from his throne, he reached over the desk, scooped her out of her chair, and gathered her up in a big bear hug. Oomph, said Athena, struggling to breathe. Electricity fizzled from his fingertips, zapping her. Finally, he released her and plopped her back down onto his throne. As Athena sat, catching her breath, he reached for her temple designs and began to study them once more. Are we done here? She asked after a minute. Zeus glanced up, looking surprised to see that she was still there. Oh, hi, Athene. Did you want something? No. I'll just be going, I guess. Standing, she began sidling out of the room. As she stepped over the stack of files, she accidentally flattened an empty can of Zapple. Crack! The sound must have drawn Zeus's attention because when she was almost at the door, his head popped up open over one of the file cabinets behind her. One more thing, he said. As she pushed the broken door aside, she looked over her shoulder at him. Yes, sir. Don't tell him I asked you to help him. Her brows rose. But... Oh, and one more thing, he interrupted. Yes? She asked again. His piercing blue eyes bored into her gray ones as he gave her his king of the gods, ruler of the heavens. Look, don't let me down, he commanded. Okay, she said, because really, what else could she say? Then she scowled before he could come up with one more thing. All right, my beautiful dolls and princesses, and that is the last page of chapter 2. Thank you so much for joining me in this story time. I enjoy reading, and I'm going to continue to practice reading some more so it can help improve my pronunciation in English and in Spanish. And make sure to click the notification bell so you are updated when I post a new story time on the Goddess Girls series. I'm also going to be doing a couple story time book readings, so hope to see y'all there. Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, adios, bye, ciao.